wanted to introduce a new application I released today. It's called Polar Bookshelf. It is a incremental reading based ebook platform. Incremental reading is the ability to open up a document, read it for a while, and then put it back on your quote bookshelf. And then months later, weeks later, whatever, open the book back up and being able to resume exactly where you left off. The problem that I have when I'm reading any technical book is that I will tend to read it and then suspend and then come back to it. So let me give you an example. So this is the Wikipedia page on Bitcoin, just a random thing I picked. So let's just assume that I'm reading it. So as I'm reading it, I can just hold down Control-Alt and press the mouse. This creates what's called a page mark. And the page mark actually keeps track of the reading process as I'm moving forward. Now, this is different from a bookmark in that a bookmark actually keeps track of a specific page, and then it's hard to, do you use a bookmark per page? And then what if you're reading just a subsection of the page? Or you're jumping around, and then are there ranges? So page marks work a little bit differently in that you can mark up a specific percentage of the page. Now, the one thing you'll notice up here is that the top, where this progress bar is, that's the progress in the doc. Now we can scroll through the document and you can see that progress doesn't change. The right progress does, but the progress at the top does not change. Now let's say we were interested in the etymology or the history. So for starters, let's just mark that. Let's mark this first page as read, and let's just jump around. So we don't care about etymology, we don't care about the history, yada yada. Let's just say we're only interested in the design. So, let's just say we mark this page red. And so now we've marked this one specific page red. We don't have to, note that we marked, we can keep track of exactly where in the document we've read. And we can see that by just opening up the thumbnails. And so each of the pages gets what's called a page mark. And we support fractional page marks. So if you go to the third page here, and let's say we continue to read, we could just keep, as we're reading, we could keep updating that page mark. Now, the awesome thing about page marks, is that they are persisted. So the next time you open up the document, in fact, let's just do that. Let's just go back in here and we'll open it up again. So the page marks are everything, all of our reading positions and all of our page marks are totally preserved. So we've got all that. So this is great because now I can, on multiple platforms, this supports Mac OS, Linux, Windows. We don't have binary packages for Windows just yet, but we're working on it. It allows you to read on both platforms. You don't have to pick one. The data is actually persisted in standards, web standards format, so it's just JSON on disk. I'm probably going to use JSON schema to validate that the JSON is accurate. It's since the persistence mechanism is just JSON, you can make it work with Evernote, Dropbox, Google Drive, whatever. We don't have support for those yet, but those can drop in pretty quickly. The entire system, the entire app, is based on just standard web standards. So the PDF viewer is pdf.js. It's all bundled as an Electron application, and everything else is done through JavaScript. So it's pretty in Webpack. It's pretty standards based. So the whole thing is the whole idea is to get other developers to be able to work with it. Most other PDF management tools, they don't support other, they don't, you can get it on one platform like Skim, but then you can't run it on any other platforms. So I'm really excited about this. This is something that I can actually use and work with. The other thing that we're going to be adding here in the short term is we're going to be adding support for Anki, which is a spaced repetition platform, and more advanced annotations. So we have primitive annotation support right now. So you can go here and just try to get this working here. You go here and then Control-Alt-T. That'll highlight that. But it's preliminary. Right now it just marks the region and it can restore the region, but I want to extract the text so you can import that into Anki, and then I want to improve the highlighting. You can see that there's a couple gaps here and so forth. That's somewhat easy to fix, but it's just not a priority. Then after this, I'm going to integrate support for thumbnails, and then taking all the data and then writing a script to load the data into Anki. So you can go in and read, and as you're reading, you can just create flashcards within the app. And then once those flashcards are created, they just will pop up within Anki and just be normal, just apps. or just normal flashcards that you can work through. And I'm really excited about this platform because I'm really hopeful. I'm going to be spending a lot of time on textbooks the next couple years. I'm going to be working on a master's, so I want to retain the information long term. I don't want to just read it and then lose it. I want to retain the information, keep my books, keep all my highlights, be able to work within my textbooks, and then automatically sync the data to Anki and keep all this data long term. So please install it. It's an open platform, so if you're an open source hacker, please go ahead and download the source code. It's npm start, and it'll be running for you. And I'd like to eventually support Chrome extensions. Electron doesn't natively support Chrome extensions, but there's some hacks to get it to work. So my thinking is that every Chrome extension can then dock into this. So we will support third-party Chrome extensions, but I want to be able to ship with a few standard ones, and then have users add them if they want. So that's Polar Bookshelf. Check it out.